What's good, YouTube? I'm making this video for Ruben, who has a black screen problem after switching to the Cruise L profile. I stole some of my kids' graphing paper because we're going to try to do an overlay over my radio and kind of mimic some of the buttons so that way he can easily switch back to the Escalade O profile, and hopefully we can get him sorted out. This is 1/4 inch drafting paper. I'm going to grab the tape measure. And we're going to measure these two lines just to show you what kind of paper we're using. And as you can see, it's pretty much dead on 1/4 inch. So that way you can go to your local store and get the same thing. To cut a perfect square, I have to trim off the edge of this side to make it perfectly flush. So if you got paper that's kind of crappy like this was, definitely take your blade and score it down the side. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut across. I'm going to grab this marker. Excuse the shaky camera work, but I'm kind of by myself today. I'm going to cut across 33 squares, and going up and down, you're going to do 25 squares. And basically that's going to give you a perfect square to fit into the inlay of the radio. And you might notice I kind of jotted some things on here already. So we're going to go over that too while we have it out of the truck. So I'm just going to rotate this around. And basically what these represent are buttons that are going to be on the radio that you're going to push. But it's really important that you put your marks in the exact same spot I put mine. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, but we're going to go over it together. So if you got your drafting paper ready, hopefully you got a good pen with you and double check all your work. The first square we're going to make is going to be in the third row, 1, 2, 3 down, and we're going to go over 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and put an X right here, or whatever symbol you want to do. Next, we're going to go to the opposite side of the paper, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 down. I'm sorry. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 down, and then we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to put an X there. From this point, we're going to go over. We're going to put the gear symbol. This is where your setting button is going to be. This is going to be the hardest step of everything we're doing, because this is the slider on the radio, and I timed it. I did it like 17 times to make sure if you drug from this point to this point, this setting button is going to be right here every single time. So you're going to count over, I believe it's 10. So let's count it out together. So we're going to go down to the, it might be easier to go to the 4th row, or the 4th row. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to go over maybe 9. Let's count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And at your 9 spot, maybe kind of outline it like how I did here. And then maybe you don't have to draw a gear, but maybe put an X or a star or something in the middle just to let you know what this symbol really was for. So if we want to count it out again, just to be straight, just to be safe, let's do it one more time. And we can go from this point to this point to kind of double check our work. So from the X, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then inside of here should be where the gear is going to be at. And hopefully yours is kind of ended up there. So I'll kind of hold the video here so that way you can pause it and count it and do everything you got to do. All right, let's kind of move on a little bit. That way this video isn't too long. This is going to be the save and reset button. And it's going to be a good long count. So we're going to go from, let's go from the top of the page. I'm trying to do the camera work and count at the same time, so bear with me. So we're going to go down. We're in our 3rd row, so let's just kind of cheat a little bit. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And in row 17, and line 17, is going to be save and reset. But you don't have to draw a square out like this. You can just come over into the middle and just maybe put a S and an R right here, and you'll know exactly what it meant. The bottom is going to be system info. This is going to be a button we're going to hit early on. So let's kind of cheat a little bit. We're going to go from the, I'm going to move this other paper so to make sure we don't get confused. We're going to go from the bottom. Let's go over to our third column again. And going from the bottom, we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in column 7 is going to be the system info. You don't have to draw a square out like this. So if you went up 7 and went over 1, maybe just put a SI symbol right there, and that's what you're going to touch. Now the number grid is going to probably be just as easy. And you might notice this little X at the bottom here. Let's go ahead and tackle this later on. I'm going to do a video, a dry run without the paper up there. And then I'm going to do a second video just as fast with the paper up there. The whole process only takes maybe 20 seconds to fully reset the radio. But as long as you got all the squares right, I'm going to show you what it's going to look like without the paper and with the paper. So let's count this X out. This is really important because this is really a specific cut button we have to hit. So let's go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And put your X right there. Now let's do the number keypad. All right, with the number keypad, we're going to kind of, you might notice a dot in there. We're going to tackle this dot later on once we get these filled in. So it might be easier. Let's go from left to right and do our number 1 key and get our placements. So we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you're going to put a number 1 there. Let's skip a spot. Come down, put a 4. Skip a spot. Let's do a 7. Let's jump over 3 spots, 3 empty spaces. You're going to put an 8. You're going to come up a space, hit a 5, and so on and so on. And I'm going to still do the jump over 3 and do the 3 and 6 and 9. You're going to come over 2. And then you're going to put the OK here. You're going to come up an empty spot and put your 0 here. In between the space between the 5 and the 6, you're going to put a dot right here. And we're going to be touching this dot later on. So I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to kind of let you be able to pause this one more time if you need to kind of double check everything. I'm trying to get it all in the same frames for you. And we're going to resume the video from in the truck. We're going to do a dry run first without the paper so you can see what's going on. Then I'm going to put the paper on mine and I'm going to do the exact steps that you're going to have to do. All right, we're back in the truck. I'm going to turn the ignition on. And now my radio's, I just used the radio a second ago, so it didn't start off where you started, where you're going to start off from. But what I suggest you do is unhook your battery and then hook your battery back up so the radio does a full cold boot. And this navigation symbol should end in the left-hand corner, unlike how it just was for mine. And you might notice I'm still running a Cruise L profile for you just to make sure everything's going to be exactly the same. Now, I'm not going to unhook my battery because I like my settings the way they are, and I'm not going to change that for nobody. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a dry run like I promised. So it's going to be a little difficult. And I'm going to try to, actually I'm going to tape the grid over here so you can kind of see what was going on. But I'm still going to put the grid on top of the radio like I promised to show you. All right, I got the grid taped to the left and we're going to do a dry run this way. And then I'm going to put it on the radio later on in the next step. So I'm going to scroll over from, actually, and kind of make sure we're all on the same page. I'm going to touch this X and I'm going to drag it over to that X. But obviously we can see, so it's no big thing to us. And then I'll let go. And that should put that gear exactly where we needed it to be. And we're going to touch the gear. And then we're going to touch the system information button. It might be getting washed out because of the bright light inside the truck. So I'm going to touch that once. And then we're going to hold on to where this dot was at where we put. And it's really about right here. And you just hold on for like 3 or 4 seconds. And you notice it brought the number row up. And I'm still actually pressing down. So there's none. If you hold it for 5 seconds or 10 seconds, it don't even matter. And I'm just now letting go. And what you're going to press is a different code from what you pressed earlier. This is an easier way to change the profile. So you're going to press 7890. You're going to hit OK. And it's going to bring you to another screen, which should be this screen, but you can't see anything at this point. And we're going to touch from this X, and we're going to just scroll it up to mid here. It doesn't really matter where you go, and I'm going to show you why. So I'm touching pretty much here, and I'm going to touch it probably about, I'm going to scroll it about maybe 4 or 5 times. If you didn't think you scrolled it enough, just keep scrolling it, and this menu locks basically, so you can't over scroll the point where you need to be. And escalate old should be at the bottom, and it should be exactly where this X is at again. So you're going to press escalate old, then you're going to press that same X is going to be right here again, and you're going to press OK. Then you're going to press save and reboot, which is going to be right here. And then remember that dot we put, we're going to touch that same dot again, and the radio is going to start rebooting. Now, to keep the video short, I'm going to pause this while it reboots, and it's going to be pretty much back the way it was from before I touched anything. All right, that was a normal boot up time, and it looks like I'm running the Escalade old profile, because notice I lost the little console symbol up here, and I bet if I press my volume, I can't control the volume anymore. It was really controlling the amp like it should, but all that stuff's been on hook for my system I put in. All right, now it's up to you. You're gonna have to tape this up here. What I suggest you do is you do it with the key off, so that way you're not touching anything. And you're gonna tape this up here, and you're gonna get it in the upper corner to the left the best you can, and put some good tape around it, because you don't want this paper moving around. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna unhook your battery, then hook your battery back up, come here and put your key back in, and that's where we're going to start. So I'm going to pause this video, and I'm going to straighten this paper out some, and we're going to go for there. I'm also going to switch back to the Cruise L profile, so things can be exactly the same way as you're going to do it blindly. So I'm going to do mine blindly just like you're going to do, but I'll be able to see the silhouette. So I'm going to pause this and straighten this paper out, and hopefully you'll be ready. All right, I'm back. As you can probably see, I don't know if you can see, that's the console symbol. So I'm back on the the Cruise L profile, just like how you should be on. And I got this taped up there nice and good. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit, and so that way this paper doesn't move around or do anything funny. I hope you did this with the key off, and if you didn't do it with the key off, make sure you're at a boot cycle, so that way you're gonna unhook your battery, like I said, and then you're gonna put your battery back on, then you're going to come in and turn the key on. Your radio should take 30 seconds or so to boot up, and at that point is where you should start with me. And you should have the navigation symbol in the left hand corner if you're doing from a fresh boot up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from this X we drew, and we're going to drag all the way to that X, and then we're going to let go, and the gear symbol is right here. We're going to touch the gear, which were settings. Sorry, that was the GPS antennas connecting. We're going to touch system info, which is that little point we put here. We're going to touch our dot. We're going to hold on to it. Remember, it doesn't matter how long we hold on to it. Then we're going to punch our code in, which is 7890, then OK. And you're going to see the screen kind of change in the background. And we're going to scroll from this X all the way up. And you can see me scrolling, but I'm going to pretend like I can't see it too, like you can't see it. And I'm just going to keep scrolling just to make sure I'm at the bottom of the list and selecting the Escalade old profile, which should be right at this X. So there's that. I touched the Escalade old profile. We're going to touch that X again, which is really pressing OK. Right here was our save and reset. And here's our confirmation where it's going to actually do the reset. And you can actually see it rebooting in the background just like before. And hopefully when yours boot up, you should have video, and hopefully you didn't touch any other settings while you're in the other menu that I gave you the code for in the other video. And hopefully this works. You leave me a comment down below. Like I said, I respond quick, and I wish you luck, brother. So let me know what's going on.